on this computer. And I just want to make sure you all know that you can feel totally free to say anything, ask any question, and then if you feel like, you know, I want to know the people that this is going to go out to, I will not share this recording, even with people who registered, unless I have permission from all of you, okay? So it's going to, you know, I want it to feel like a safe little group here that we can talk about anything. Anything goes. It kind of like my therapy office, you know, sometimes somebody will say, you know, can I swear in here? And I say, go for it. You know, it doesn't bother me, you know. If you feel better swearing, sure. It's never anything bad, you know. So let's see, you know, why don't we, is it okay if we go around, do a little round robin and just say where you're from and what your interest is and if you want something in particular covered today? How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. Can I start?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so my name is Clésia Mendes. I am originally from Portugal, but I'm living in UK. And I'm interested in men, if that is what you're wondering. It's what you put on Facebook, is interested in men. And really one of the reasons why I'm here is to get a little bit of clarity. I did some work with a relationship coach recently about who would be my ideal guy, and I used to have this list, but then I've shortened to 12 points only. But I'm dreading to do the internet thing again. Yes. So my question is, what is the resistance about? Am I really bothered? Yes.
Say that again, Clésia.
Yes.
What is
the resistance about? Because one side of me,
resistance.
A side of me is saying, you know what? I've been single for a while. Would be nice to meet a playmate, like I call it.
Yeah.
But the other side couldn't be bothered to do the internet thing again. Yeah.
Oh, great. I'd love to talk to you about that. Resistance and finding playmates. That's a great way to describe it, really. You know, and so I want to go around to everybody, but I just want to say this one piece in response to that. I was on a bike ride with a big group of people. It was a meetup, and a friend of mine, a female friend. And so we took a half an hour drive to the meetup spot. And during that time there and back, we were talking about both of us being single in our 60s. And she said this great thing. She said, you know, it's like being a teenager again, except we get to do anything we want to do. You know, and I thought, that's a great spin on it, isn't it? You know, it's really, you know, a lot of you are younger than I am, but it's really like being, I think anything between 40 and 70 is like prime of life. You know, there are some really young 70-year-olds. And as long as you keep yourself healthy, it's a long span of life. That's the prime of life. Because we've now learned so much. We see so much clearer. And I'll tell you, my experience as I've gotten older is I could care less about what people think about me. And that is so freeing. It was really freedom. So enough about that. Who wants to go next?
Okay.
Who said that?
Me, Steve.
Yeah, Steve. You go by Steve.
Yeah, I'm Steve. I'm from the UK. I'm in Nottingham, Robin Hood country. And I've recently been in 2 relationships. So that was the last year. So 6 months apiece. And they went wrong they just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And sort of, yeah, you know, that's life, and I'm moving on, and I feel okay about that. But it's like I'm looking back and thinking, yeah, there's definitely some things about me, you know, that I can see some sort of, I don't know, a thread that has gone through those two experiences with two different people. And I'd like to explore that a little bit and just hang out and listen to everybody else.
It's cool. So what's the thread? Do you want to share that?
That's a good question. No, it's a good question. I think especially after the last one, I think it's the idea of, well, kind of discovering that I haven't really held myself in high esteem. So I haven't really held, and it's taken me all these years to realize, I'm not really loving myself. And that has played out in quite a few of my relationships. And it's been really interesting to see that dynamic. So typically at the beginning of a relationship, I'm sort of, you could say I'm like Jack the Lad. I've got confidence and, a bit of a strut. And then the dynamic kind of changes, or it has changed to, I kind of lose some sort of power somewhere and I pour everything into a relationship and it becomes about the other person and I lose myself. And I mean, that's valuable to see and just to get people's take on it, really.
Oh, nice. That's great.
Where do I go from here? Because it's been a little bit tough, and I don't want to, the next one that comes along, I want to sort of move on to a different plane with it, and learn from what's gone before, rather than just keep going around the hamster wheel.
Right. Oh, that's great, Steve. Thanks so much. Yeah. All
Thank
right.
you.
Who's next? I'm taking notes from, and I'll try to tie it all together. Gavin's eating, so we'll hold off on Gavin. Who else wants to go?
I'll go.
Oh, good, Risa.
I'm Risa.
Oh, Risa. Did you hear?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay.
Risa. Risa.
Risa.
I think I met you at the last conference. Yes. Yes.
I do.
You do voiceovers. Yes. We were talking about doing that for my book. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. And I've been here for 9 years, moved here with my ex-husband and my 2 kids. And then we got divorced 5 or 6 years ago. And I've had, I'm from Vancouver initially. Had a couple of relationships. One I'm sort of involved with, but it's just a strange relationship. And I can share more of that later, possibly. But I know it's not, at least right now, it's not where I want to be. It's not what I want. And so it's there, but I'm open. I'm open to whatever, comes my way. And I want to know if I need to let go before something will happen. Is it necessary to let go of what might happen, might not happen, in order for, the universe to say, okay, now you're ready, and here you are.
Interesting. Yeah. So you mean, in other words, Risa, you're kind of going into new relationships with thinking from past relationships?
I'm kind of still holding on to a relationship that's not a full normal relationship. We love each other and he's there, but he's not really present. And I can't make him be what he's not. And so it's, when it's convenient, we like to hang out and you know, we, like I said, we love each other, but he's in his own reality over there, not really understanding that I'm over here. So, and I've allowed that to happen, you know, it's been 5 years like this. So, you know, do I say goodbye, or do I, you know, keep that in play when it's convenient? Because, you know, there's love there, while I explore over here. And that's what I'm doing right now. I am doing the online thing, Clecia.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's what came to my mind, Risa, is as long as he knows he's a playmate for you, right? I love
Sometimes.
that. Yeah, Clecia, I'm gonna use your term.
Yep.
As long as he knows that your heart yearns for a deep connection, and it's okay that the two of you don't have that, and you can still be friends and play and hang out and do whatever you want, as long as he's aware of the fact that you are seeking more of a romantic, deeper connection with someone, and that you'll let him know when that happens. How does that sit with you?
No, that's good. I like that.
Yeah. You know, I love the idea of complete transparency, because we have nothing to hide.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing, to be able to say, you know, I sense, and it's sort of what Steve was talking about before everybody came on. When you have a sense that there's a deep connection with a partner that you can have, why settle for something that's not that?
Right.
I mean, if we have that sense, then that can happen. You know what I mean? It can happen in reality. Doesn't mean it's going to happen with this person. It might. Who knows? Anything's possible. Might develop. But there's really, as I see it now, there's nothing to feel bad about when things are not matching what I'm wanting. So, hence, I have a lot of guy friends in my life. I have a lot of guy friends, you know, and it's all good. And I watch them as they get their significant other, their girlfriend. That's happened to at least 2, probably more. You know, they weren't right for me for long-term partnering, but we keep in touch, and I'm friends with their girlfriends now. In fact, one of them, she was a girlfriend of mine, and they met. You know, so we're not supposed to control who gets with who and when we get with the right person. I see it more as just love, you know, loving whoever you come in contact with for the just for the sake that they're another human going through this maze, that, you know, this experience that we're all on, this roller coaster. So anyway, I sort of got off the path of having everybody introduce. Everybody's coming up with really good questions. Thank you. Who's next? Oh, Gavin, looks like you're saying something, but I didn't hear anything come through.
I don't mind going. Where is it?
Little hard to hear you. Can everybody hear Gavin?
Yep.
I think that came through.
Yes.
Now it's good. Yeah.
I haven't got a clue where the microphone is, you know, so I'm whistling in the dark, as it were. Yeah, I'm a Brit. I live in West Cork in Ireland. It's sort of islands like this. I live down there.
I'm still having a hard time hearing.
Yeah?
Yeah, why is that? But everybody else can hear Gavin. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm a Brit living in Ireland, and I haven't really got any questions. I'm here out of curiosity.
Great.
My last relationship, the way you're talking about them, was probably 15, 20 years ago. I'm guessing. Can't remember anymore. So,
Something years ago, I didn't quite get that. Somebody want to tell me what Gavin said? I don't know why it's not coming.
Gavin's last relationship was about 15 to 20 years ago. Probably 20. He can't remember clearly.
no, I can't remember.
Well, guess what, Gavin? Me too.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I got divorced 23 years ago.
Well,
Which is astounding. You know, when I say that, it's astounding. I'm writing books about relationships and love, and you know, but that's just what life brought me. And
Yeah. Does anybody know where microphones are on computers?
No.
No. Especially if I was aiming at it, you know. Anyway, can't remember what the other thing is now. Oh yeah, I'm retired from the workforce. I'm just under 70 years old, and what do I do? A bit of gardening, and nothing much else at the moment. The weather's been too bad for anything much. So that's really all. What other things was it? Was there anything else you were interested in? I feel like I'm talking to myself here.
Laurie, did you catch that, or do you
no,
need
I was just going to
voiceover?
ask you, Plessy. Go ahead. I'm catching like a word here and a word there.
Okay, so Gavin has been retired for a while. He's about 70 years young, and in his free time, he enjoys doing a little bit of gardening. Not much more because the time does not permit, or the weather does not permit. Did I got everything, Gavin?
I don't know. What, and the other bit was, what else did you want to know?
And what else do you want to know, Laurie?
Oh,
that was his question.
Thank you. You're my translator when I can't hear. Yeah, you know, just a little bit about that, Gavin, that some people just like to have more people around them. They like meeting people, and other people enjoy their alone time more. So the important thing is not to judge ourselves. When you want to be alone, enjoy your alone time. When you want to be with others, one of the greatest things I think available are meetups. I don't know if you have that in Europe, in the UK, but here in the States, you can go on meetup.com, meetup.com, and there will be thousands of groups you can sign up for, whatever your interest is, from book clubs to hiking to bicycling, you name it. And in your age range, et cetera, et cetera. And then you go to you get announcements from the groups you sign up for, and then you go to the ones you want to go to. Great way to meet new people.
Physically, you're talking about going to them, meeting them. You're talking about physically meeting people.
Are you talking about physically meeting people?
Physically meeting people, yeah, or online meeting people, you know, on all the dating sites, right? Just lost Gavin. There he is. Okay. What, Clesia, you were going to say something?
No, Riza was saying that she will switch computers. She'll be back. Oh, I'm doing the translation thing again. Sorry.
Oh, okay. How did you know that? I'm not getting
technical support. I read the message, so she'll be back.
Oh, okay. Because I'm not getting messages here. Oh, chat one. There it is. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we've got Sean or Dorth. Did I say it right? Dorth? Oh, Sean, your turn.
Oh, sure. I'll go. Yep. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, that's great. Hear you
Okay.
fine. Thank you.
Yep. I'm Sean, and I'm actually from Laurie's neck of the woods. Not too far away. And yeah, same state. And I'm just getting back into dating after not dating for maybe like 8-10 years. And I did start dating recently, but it's somebody I've seen for like 3 months, but it's kind of she's not really sure she wants to continue with me or not. So, we'll see. Maybe I'll have to date some more, and probably I will. And I know I definitely I had some fears about, that's been a while since I've dated, and it's just fear of explaining that to people, being judged for, not being in the dating game for a while. And, but now that I've actually started dating, I suppose, I'm glad that I'm sort of getting into the physical action of doing it. Just talking to people and putting myself out there. And it feels better to do that instead of worrying, which is what I typically have done for a while. But I do see that there's always issues of, like what Stephen said about once he gets involved with people, I hope I'm saying this right, Stephen, but you were saying that you tend to maybe invest more into the other person than yourself almost. The same issue keeps coming up for you. And I can sort of relate to that exact thing that you mentioned. I tend to do that a little bit too. Partly because I'm trying to figure out my career and a whole bunch of things and make new friends, because I just moved back down here to Connecticut, and it's like I'm like starting all over again. So so I feel like when you're dating, people ask you questions like, what do you do for a living? And all these things. And I feel like until they get to know me, I don't look too good on paper. That's how I feel. So so anyways, I'm excited to get back out there, and interested to hear what everybody else experiences. And I think it's kind of nice to talk to other people about their experiences, because then you get a different range of perspectives. So that's it.
That was so funny when how you said, I don't look too good on paper, because it reminded me of the fact that it's not about those particulars, what school we went to, where we grew up, how many siblings, blah, 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 our income, our jobs. That's not what's important. How many people look great on paper and they're not good people, because of their own insecurities. They're mean-spirited or not very giving, not very kind. So honestly, that's the most important thing, is what's in your heart, not what your credentials are. So yeah, I see like there's a lot of questions about self-esteem, how we see ourselves in the world. So we still want to hear from DeWorth. Am I saying your name right?
No. So you might try to say daughter.
Dartha.
Daughter, without the TH is not pronounced. Yes.
Say it again.
Daughter.
Daughter.
Without the TH. It's just a T.
Darta.
Yeah.
Darta?
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh.
It's not like people say it here in Germany, but it's nearly impossible for an English speaker to pronounce this name right. So that's totally okay. So as I said, I'm living in Germany, and relationships are quite a big issue for me, because for a very, very long time in my life, almost the whole of my life, I was convinced that it is absolutely necessary to be in a beautiful relationship to be happy. That this was always the thing. And I know where it came from. I've been through a lot of loss from my childhood on. Lost my mother, lost my first love who committed suicide, lost my husband when I was pregnant with my son. And actually I always had really beautiful relationships. That was never a thing for me. And I separated from my long-term partner almost 1.5 years ago. We were together 16 years. And fell in love with another man, and he fell in love with me, and it seemed to be the one thing we were always looking for. But things got really, really complicated as his wife, he was separating from, had a severe accident and fell on her head after she said, "I cannot live without you," and was in coma for a long time, and it took a year for recovery for her. And of course, this is not a situation where you leave. This was clear for all of us, and we try to keep our love, try to be together in a way, but it was painful for all the three of us. And I guess I've been through a lot of things in my life, but this was actually my most painful year, and totally caught up, and actually felt so broken that this brought me to the principal. So this was the good thing. Yeah, and in the beginning of the year, I just thought opening up to everything again, started dating, got on a dating website, had some dates, but somehow also could not forget about that man, because we're actually still in love. We actually still love each other. And after he moved out and his ex-wife or wife, they're still married, is able to make her life on her own again and is fit again. Yeah, we meet each other again, very softly, very carefully. But I mean, it's a year where a lot of things happened, where I got on kind of another path and experiencing now a part of myself, or depths of myself I've never reached before, and where I feel things just in a new way. So in a way, right now, I don't live in the feeling anymore of really needing a relationship, which is actually very beautiful. But I'd like to have a nice relationship, that's true. And I don't know if this relationship, sort of, I have now is the thing I still want to have.
Say that last again, Jota. Say that again.
I don't know if this sort of relationship I still have, the man I'm still meeting, I'm still in love with, I see from time to time, if this is the relationship of my future. I don't know that anymore. I might give it a try, but in a way it's a bit funny, you know? So I've been in Buddhism for a long time, and my long-term partner I left never understood that. And I heard for years, I don't understand you, I don't know what you're doing there, but I don't want to know. So, and Nick, his name is Nick, actually is a Buddhist, and we were looking in complete the same direction and coming deeper and deeper into the principles that shifted for me. So Buddhism is not the middle of my world anymore. Yeah. And now I hear the same thing from him. He said, "Oh, you don't meditate anymore. I don't understand that. What are you doing? You're not going to the courses anymore." I wanted a Buddhist girlfriend. I don't understand what you do. I said, "Oh, it's strange. Somehow I heard that again. I'd heard that before." So I don't know. For me, it's not, I will know when I know. But I will just move on. We will meet each other and we will find out. And just try to stay in a good place and as well be open for whatever comes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well said. Right. We forget that it's so easy to get caught up in thinking about the current relationship. It's not matching up with what we thought it should or whatever, or to be taken aback by what the other person has to say, like, "I'm not sure I want to continue with you." Well, that's got to be their decision. If you're having a nice time, just have a nice time. And for whatever reason, if the other person doesn't want to continue, that has to do with their thinking. We take it on as though it's about us. That's, why the 3 principles and dating and relationships are, man, it's just so valuable to see that it's always coming from inside of us, and their experience is always coming from inside of them. It just changes everything, because then you have nothing to do but just enjoy the moment. Right? Doesn't that make sense to you? Reese, I don't know, you were changing computers, so I don't know if you heard. I was just saying that, no matter what, that this is the beauty of understanding how mind, thought, and consciousness brings everybody an experience through their own thinking. Because then it just doesn't make sense anymore to get caught up when the other person says, well, I don't think I really want to continue anymore with you, or the other person has their insecurities. Well, it doesn't matter. That's their thinking.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
yeah, it might seem a little selfish to not care about that, but it's not selfish. It's taking care of both of you, really, because that gives the other person the freedom to do and say whatever they think is important to them. And it gives us the freedom to enjoy ourselves without manufacturing a future. It'll happen if it happens. It's just, wow, what a relief to just trust that whatever is going to happen will happen. It'll unfold on its own. We don't have to, and we can't make it happen. We could fool ourselves thinking that we can make it happen, but we can't. I mean, that's the way people connect. I think I said this on one of the other webinars. To me, it's like we're all a bunch of molecules floating around in space, and every so often 2 molecules collide, and you go forward for a bit, maybe a month, maybe 6 months, maybe the rest of your time together. But often those 2 molecules just break off and they go join other molecules. That's how it looks to me. It just looks willy-nilly. But it's also, on the other end of the spectrum, it's such a sacred event, really, to even spend an hour with another human being where they're sharing things that are important to them and you're sharing things that are important to you. What a sacred thing. Even, a 6-month relationship, a 1-week relationship, however long you're with another human, wow, that's just something to be in awe of, and not be focused on how long you're going to be with that person, because there's so many variables, the biggest one being the other person's thinking. But there's also the other person's relatives and friends thinking, and which so often gets in the way for the other person. We can't make that our business. We have enough with our own business, minding our own business.
Yeah, I like being grateful for each of those moments. It just,
Yes.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm grateful for everything that's happened in the past and for where I am right now.
Yes.
I feel like
I love that.
Then, I don't know. Well, one, it makes you feel good, because it's not, having a grateful feeling is just always a good place to be. But I feel like that allows you to relax a bit more into this space you're in, to see more of what is possible. and the non-harm that dating online might bring.
Yeah, I love that way to say that. Just being grateful for whatever time you spend with someone. Because even when it's obvious that it's not a long-term connection for whatever reason or reasons, you're still learning something in the process.
Yeah.
And often we don't know what that is. We don't know what we're learning until after the fact.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just met somebody on Tinder.
Oh!
Swiping through, and we haven't had a real conversation yet, but he actually said, well, the universe brought us together for a reason. So
yeah.
Right before this call started, I got that message.
Oh, fun. Isn't that fun, Yeah. So it's so interesting to see who shows up, and who knows why that person showed up. I mean, people come up with all sorts of explanations, past lives, and you name it, but who knows? I just know it's just wonderful to share your life story and have the other person share their story. And that's what it is. It's just our stories, what we've made of our lives up to this point. In a year, you're going to look back and see a different story. So I want to spend a little time talking about self-esteem, because that's kind of a common thread, I think, here. But is there any other comment or question you want to say before I get on a roll with self-esteem? I may not get on that long a roll. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And, jump in anytime that you want to say something about self-esteem. But, well, I'll give you a little story about myself, because I really lacked self-esteem when I was a kid. Like, my mother would tell me that friends and relatives would look at photographs of the family, and they'd always say, well, Lori looks so sad. What's wrong with her? She's not smiling at any picture. And, looking back, I was like a wreck as a young kid. As young as, so it goes to show you, boy, the minute somebody starts thinking, whatever age they start thinking negative, wow. And nobody back then, of course, knew that it had anything to do with my thinking. But just to give you an example, in kindergarten, I couldn't do kindergarten because the teacher didn't know how to console me. I was crying so much they had to call my mother to come pick me up. And I'm not that person anymore. And as the years went by in elementary school and junior high and high school, I didn't have a good time. I didn't, to tell you the truth. Because my self-esteem was awful. I was always comparing myself to somebody else, thinking I wasn't smart enough, good enough. There was something going on that I wasn't. Nobody liked me. So when you're walking around with that kind of thinking on your mind, nobody likes you, what happens? But you put out the vibe that you don't want to connect with them. Who wants to connect with somebody who doesn't like you? Nobody. So other people pick up on that, right? They pick up on that sense that even though you're putting yourself down, they get the feeling that you're putting them down. I've had people later tell me, well, we just thought you were too good, you thought you were too good for us. And here I was walking around thinking I wasn't good enough. And what these other people picked up was that I thought I was too good for them. The exact opposite. So the point is, man, we really are all the same. We are all the same. There is one energy, and that we are just particles of. So why would we judge ourselves, our particle, as any better or worse than any other particle? You know, it kind of reminds me of a prism. You put a prism in front of light and out comes all these different hues, all these different colors. Well, that's like each human. We all are in a different form and we have different thoughts, but the substance behind all of us is the same. It's the same. So why judge ourselves as less than or more than? Because that's just thought. Anything that any of us experience, someone else is having a similar experience, or pretty much the same. Because every human, I think, has gone through moments of insecurity. Every human. I don't think anybody is immune to that, or a thought that you're not doing something right, or kind of that feeling like you're always looking over your shoulder to, monitor what you say and do. Ooh, yuck. That's just way too much work, way too much thinking to have to keep tabs on yourself. And I find if I'm in a good state of mind, if I'm enjoying my time, I may come out with something that doesn't quite, it's like after the fact you say something, you realize, well, that was off. like I'm on this bike ride, which is in this really sweet town, Sean, Niantic, Niantic, and along the shoreline. And so, we would get next to different people at different points of the ride. And so this guy gets next to me and he says something like, what I heard, and my hearing is not the best. And what I heard was that he's saying, what kind of town is this? What town is this? What's this town about? That's what I heard him say. So I said, well, thinking he's never been to Niantic. He's from a different part of Connecticut, or some people came even from Massachusetts. So I said, well, it must be like a, and I'm having a great time. It just came out of my mouth. Well, it must be like a resort town. And I realized, well, it's on the shoreline. It's kind of obvious that people, and then I recovered and I said, well, I wonder if how many people are here for the whole year, or if people just come seasonally. And he says, no, I was talking about that building there. Is that an army barracks? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And so I look over and I say, oh yeah, I wonder what that building is. Who cares? That's the thing. So what? We're all innocent. We're all just doing the best we can. And sometimes we come out with bloopers, and other people come out with bloopers.
That wasn't so bad, Lori.
That wasn't a big blooper.
That wasn't so terrible.
I can find bigger bloopers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean? Like, has anybody else found something about self-esteem that was a great insight for you?
I don't know. Something just occurred to me, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the topic, but maybe it has. So the last time I was doing the internet thing, so I I was using eHarmony, right? And there was this free weekend where I guess some people that actually are not subscribers of eHarmony just go for the weekend. So I get on Skype with this guy that looked good on paper, but I didn't see his photography. So we get on Skype, and he's definitely not my type. So I'm very polite with him. So we had a nice conversation and so on. And off we go. And I think I gave him my number, my mobile number, right? So we were on Skype, and then I gave him my number. That is taking responsibility for it. And then I was about to swear, but I know it's getting recorded. The smart ass got my mobile number and gave it to those telemarketing companies. And in the following day, I started getting all these phone calls on my mobile. So I started, and then after I didn't tweak in the beginning, it made no sense. I was like, hang on, how come I'm getting all these telephone calls today? And then I started receiving messages for the guy's name is John. Messages for John and calls for John. So basically I gave him my mobile number because, we didn't get along after the Skype call. And I was like, yeah, I've got a lot of thinking about that now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, did it stop? Did you stop getting telemarketing calls?
No, basically what I did, I got in contact with one of the telemarketing companies and I asked them, how did he get my number? And he said, you must have signed up for some type of service where basically you gave authority. And I was like, I can guarantee I didn't do that at all. But when I started receiving messages directed with the guy's name, then I put 2 and 2 together. I was like, oh, it was him. You know what?
Can I say something?
Wow.
You certainly can, yes.
I used to work at a whatever company is fundraising, and we fundraise for charities, but we would call people and we would drive them crazy. But I know that they can get lists very easily, and it's probably a computer thing, so that if it may, I don't know, maybe it was John who did it, but maybe it was his name appears on a list, and as soon as he called you or you called him, then automatically the computers that have his number then put you on their list. And it may, I don't know, I could be wrong, but it may not have been John. It might have been the way that these companies work. And he might not have known this, but I could be wrong. This guy could be an absolute jerk.
Yeah, I'll go with the first version of it. But now I'm not too sure based on what you told me, Sean. But I'm ready to let it go.
Right.
And I think that you can get on a do not call list, right?
Yeah.
Isn't there a way to do that, or stop
Yeah.
telemarketers? You probably have to Google that, how to go about it.
Yeah.
But thank you for letting the rest of us know. We have to be careful about who we give our cell phone number to. Some of the dating sites have, I don't recall which ones in particular, but I know they assign a different phone number. So you can speak through that number, but the other person never gets your real number.
Mm-hmm.
So this is good to share this information. It's a new world out there. And some of these dating sites are fun, actually. Like I use it as, some people will play solitaire when they have downtime. I'll go on a dating site when I'm in between projects, if I need a little downtime, and I'll see who's there and who looked at me, and I just have fun with it. It's like finding playmates. It's really like, to me, finding playmates. Some of the sites are more fun than others. So it's like each, I'll get like a 3-month subscription because you get a discount. And then after that 3 months, I'll try another dating site for 3 months. And I've made some really good friends that way.
That's a good suggestion. I tend to sign long term, so I'll use that. I'll use your strategy, Lori. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm excited about that.
And that's just what I found. From the spirit of having a good time, and man, the minute I start getting not, like it's not fun, the minute it's not fun anymore, it's like, click, time to go do something else. And I also have to be careful not to fritter away too much time. Like people will do solitaire and then they keep doing solitaire when they should be doing something else. So I got to be careful of that too. Everything within reason, right?
Mm.
But I've learned a lot on doing dating sites about how people think. Yeah, it's really, I find it interesting. Intake, it's what we call it in 3P world, you know, when you go to do a group or a talk, like we did here in the beginning, where everybody gave a little bit of background. That's intake, because then you are taking in the people and you really get where they're coming from and what they're up against in their own mind, in their own thinking. We're all up against some thinking. So let's see, we talked about resistance. That, like, you know, maybe we covered that a little bit. Somebody, Klesia, maybe it was you were experiencing resistance to going online.
Yeah, it was that last case. But what you said, Sean, I was like, that guy was a jerk, and so on and so forth. But like you said, it could be a computer generated thing. So I can go with that. So I feel I got less thinking about it now.
Yeah. And, you know, Klesia, maybe that'll you decrease your resistance, because now you know not to give out your phone number too quickly. I mean, I'm pretty quick to give up my phone number, and knock on wood, I haven't had any problems, but it could, you know, something could happen at any point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I clicked on somebody on Facebook. You know, when you get the friend invite, I will only accept an invite when there's like all these other people, you know, like 3 principals people. If I see any people from that world on the list, I'll accept it. But here was this one person who had nobody, and I don't know, I think it was by accident that I clicked accept, and then he's like IMing me. I don't have time to IM with a stranger. Why would I want to IM with a stranger who's not connected to anything? It makes no sense. Yeah. So live and learn, sort of like what happened with you, Klesia, right?
Yeah.
Did you want to say something, Risa, or that was just a scratch? Just
a hair behind the ear thing.
A hair fix, yeah.
I didn't know what to expect from today, but I'm pleasantly surprised, and sorry I had to cut out for a minute. My computer upstairs is like farthest corner of the house away, and it was getting choppy and everyone was freezing, and I was trying to strain to hear. So sorry I missed all that. I missed introductions from a couple other people too.
Well, you know, I'll send you the recording as long as that's okay with everybody, right? Is that okay with everybody here? And anybody else who registered? There was a total of 16 people. So, you know, I'll wait. And if they ask me for the recording, I will, I will send it to them. Actually, I found out that I can connect, she's a little sly, but I can connect it to my PayPal. So in order for people to get the recording, they have to make some donation of some denomination. It's a little sly, but, you know, as long as I make my, you know, my expenses, as long as I can make my expenses. I paid for Mark's time, and I enjoy doing this, so I'm fine with, you know, volunteering time. I just don't like when I have expenses going out and nothing coming in, you know. We're all like that, right? So feel free to make a donation. My PayPal account is just my email account. And don't feel like you have to either, especially if you came online. Only the people who don't make time to come. You know, and I realize in the US, it's right in the middle of the day for people, so it is hard. So thanks for coming, Sean, even though it's in the middle of the day. Yeah. Klesia,
unemployed.
What's that, Sean?
Unemployed.
Yeah, that's why. Good. Oh, so this is your time for learning and expanding and personal growth.
Yeah, right.
Sean's a graphic designer. Yeah. So if anybody needs some graphic design work, he's the one who did that very first thing that I had out, the red and purple, to do the first webinar. He did a great job. And really gets, like, when you give him, you know, what you want, he really gets it, which is cool. Yeah. So anybody else have anything to say? It's already 1:30. Email me too if there's anything in particular that you want to talk about next Tuesday. We get together again next Tuesday. I hope everybody can come. And I know Eva and Emma also wanted to come, but they had sickness and business get in the way. So this is wonderful. I'm so glad that you all signed up for this. And I hope that it benefited you. If you'll make a comment in Conscious Dating Community, you're all part of that, right? Are you all in the Conscious Dating Community Facebook?
No.
Yeah.
You're there, Stephen. Gavin, I don't remember seeing you. You're not there. Will you join us there?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's called Conscious Dating Community. If you put that in the search bar of Facebook. Do you have a Facebook account? Yeah, good. Yeah. So any last words? Anything anybody wants to, anything you want to talk about next Tuesday, send me an IM or make a comment for the whole group. Not bad. We got 7 of us on a call, for the first round of this. That's really cool. Yay! Bravo us. Yay us. Sometimes it takes so much advertising to get the word out,
Is this going to be weekly then?
What's that?
This is weekly?
Weekly. Every week, same time.
Okay.
I called it Tuesdays with Lori. If any of you read Lori, but I have to, do the thing that I'm not dying. Maury was dying. I'm not that, we all are, I guess, but not imminently that I know of, thankfully. So just a little joke about that. So anyway, I guess we'll call it a day. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you in cyberspace. Okie dokie.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
You all.
Thank you.
See you next week.
See you next week, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.